Morning.
Morning,
Shall we dance? Welcome everybody to our daily success call. Look at all our friends who are here with us right now. There is Gail. Hey, Gail, always good to see you. Teresa's driving. Drive safe, Therese. Don't look at me. Look at the road. Hey, there's Mary. Joe, good to see you. Joe, Safas, welcome, sir. Tom, Star, Adrian, David. Actually, Adrian's ceiling. And David's, what do we have there, David? A puppy? Is that a puppy? Oh, my goodness. Look at that puppy. That's a cutie. Yeah. All right. Good to see everybody. Yeah. What's his name? Tell us a bit about that dog right there, David. Go ahead. Make some noise.
Oh, hello. Right. Yes. She's a Pouchon, a cross between a poodle and a Bouchon Frise. And she escaped out the back door when nobody was looking over the weekend. The neighbors found her and put a picture up on Facebook saying somewhere in our area somebody's lost a dog. So sure enough, we went round and there she was.
Oh, so you're temporarily caring for the dog while you find the owner?
No. We are the owners.
Oh, okay.
She escaped out of our kitchen door while we weren't watching.
Oh my goodness. Got it. Okay.
But we got her back.
I'm glad she's back. She's glad to be back as well, apparently.
I think so.
All right. Good times, everybody. Yes, Faye, you had a comment? Faye?
No, sorry, I was just laughing.
Okay. Very good. So I walked in on a conversation, as I always do here, because you guys are so active in the morning, or it's not even morning over there across the pond. But welcome, everyone, regardless of what continent you are on. I know we got some Aussies that join us when it's daytime for you. Right now it's 2:00 in the morning in Sydney. But the idea of having Amazon store your stuff versus having it stored somewhere else, not a topic of thrills and excitement, although one that I think is worth having, because there's a bigger topic that surrounds that, and it's the difference between economy and simplicity. And I think that's maybe where our brains are going right now. At least that's where mine is going. In fact, let me tell you a little bit of a story here, because you guys know, those of you who've been hanging around with us for a little while, you know that I have the tendency, myself, speaking for myself, to do everything myself. If you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Anybody grew up hearing that, right? Of course, right? A lot of people have heard that, at least, with parents that, or with influences, may or may not have been a parent, okay, but influences who maybe a little bit cynical, right? That whole idea of you got to do it yourself, a little bit cynical, but also workable in the case of a linear income type scenario. So here's what I mean by that. So we're all going to think like entrepreneurs right now. And I'm thinking of Robert Kiyosaki, Cash Flow Quadrant, right? So those of you who read that book, picture in mind which quadrant this falls into. So if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the fulfillment. I'm going to do it. In fact, when I came out with my first book, I had print on demand, right? I also had Amazon, back then it was called Create Space. Now it's KDP, right? Kindle Direct Publishing. And, they do print on demand as well as, Kindle, and it interfaces with Audible as well, which reminds me, I've got to get my audiobook republished on Audible. Last time I published my audiobook, it was on a 5 compact disc set. How's that for nostalgia, right? And when I sold out of them, I just never reordered. Okay, but 5 compact discs, unabridged, read by the author. Good stuff. Sold out of them. But yeah, Audible is the future, I think. That and iTunes. Does iTunes do books? I know it's music. I know they got audiobooks now. Anyway, Apple keeps changing their damn operating system. Just stop changing it, guys. It works. Just stop. I think that's at least my opinion. But I got to do everything myself. So guess what? Great news. An order came in, and I'm going to get a manila envelope, and I'm going to take a book, and I'll sign it, right? So people like the autograph. Okay, that's very nice. And I'll send it. I'll go to the post office, and I'll stand there, and they'll weigh the book, and then they'll put the stamp, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, if it's going out of the country, now I got to fill out the customs form. Oh my goodness. That got to the point where, I did a couple hundred of them, and then I was like, that's it. Here's the link. You want to buy the book? Go to, go to Amazon. Done. So simplicity. Now, here's the thing. I can get a book. I can get a book from who's the print shop I was using in Ohio, up by Esther, 48hourbooks.com. I don't know, $4 or whatever it was for a 5x8, 204 pages, right? Print ready. Here you go. Do it. It's like $4 if you order a couple thousand at a time or whatever it is. So, so my net cost on the book, if I'm doing the work, is $4. I sell it for 20. I make $16. If Amazon does it, okay. So here's their print on demand. Somebody wants to order a paper book, never mind Kindle. I'm talking about a physical product, which is to a large degree, what everyone here is dealing with on Amazon. You're delivering a physical product on planet Earth to a human, right? So in that case, if Amazon does it, I set the price, of course, it's my product, okay? And I keep the rights, okay? That's something to consider when you get into intellectual property kinds of products. Somebody wants to be a published author and I'm going to get a book deal. Guess what? You just gave up all your rights and you still got to do your own marketing. How's that sound for a deal? It's not a very smart deal. Self-publishing is the way to go. But so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, all right, here's the price. It's still $20. That's fine, $19.95. And what's my cut? $7 or $7.82 or whatever it is. Half of the net profit that I would make if I bagged it and sent it myself, which I will gladly give up, gladly, right? Do that a few hundred times. So that's just one example of fulfillment by Amazon versus fulfilled by merchant. When we had Amanda Greaves out here, one of our illustrious and esteemed Amazon coaches, she was talking about the difference between the two. And she was heavily, steering people in the direction of FBA. Nothing vague about her. Get that microphone out of my frame. There it is. There it isn't. Okay, good. Nothing vague about her recommendation. So then that's the argument of simplicity versus, maximizing the economy of, right, how quick or how cheaply can you get this product to market? Well, let's look at scale. Let's say you actually have a hit, right? Let's say, oh, I see Caroline's cat. Look at that cat. Let's say you actually have a hit. Now what? You're running a shipping and receiving department? Well, you saved $5 or something? Is that what you saved? $5? Can you not work that in? I mean, if we're looking at a blue sky product as defined by Sophie, well, it's something you're making 30+% on. Fantastic, right? So let's look to scale as well. But I think, and here's the bigger argument with all this, I think that the more cumbersome a project is on the front end, the more inertia you have to overcome to even get to market. And speed to market, it becomes such a huge issue, right? If there's all these complications, we could call them barriers, right? If there's all these barriers between you and the starting line and you're off to the races. If there are all these barriers, the likelihood of you overcoming those barriers goes down and down and down the more you accumulate barriers. So like, here's this big mountain of crap that you've got to climb over just to get to the starting line. Or here's this nice smooth path. Yes, there's a couple hurdles to jump over. Oh, we got to set this up. Yeah, we got to do a little product research. Fine, everybody's got to do that. Okay, but now we can delegate. This is not what I was taught growing up. This is not, you want it done right, you do it yourself. Now we can delegate all these other nuances or things that I'm personally not that interested in, right? Personally, myself, I'm not that interested in setting up and running a shipping receiving department. Personally, right? Other people thrilled to the idea. I know we've got many accountants on the line with us right now, people who know about spreadsheets and bookkeeping and such, tax law, which, by the way, here in the United States, if you stacked it up, it would be about 5.5 feet tall, as last I heard. That's how many pages it is, the U.S. tax code. How did that happen? But anyway, it did. But there are people who thrill to that. They're like, wow, man, this is what an adventure. I'm not one of them. Okay. Now there are other people who, and I would say that they're a bit short-sighted, but there are other people who would say, you know what, all this personal development stuff that John's into for 35 years and studying how the mind works and human potential, psychology, philosophy, right? Eastern and Western thought, theology, physics, right? All this stuff, meh, right? Their response is meh. Oh, I think that's a bit short-sighted. But again, that's my perception. I thrill to this stuff. The idea that I get to have conversations with esteemed people like you, who are also interested in being, doing, and having more in your life. To me, that's the pinnacle right there. If we look at something like Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, some of you may have heard of that hierarchy of needs. Right down at the bottom, you got things like food, right, shelter, air, I suppose, right, basic survival at an animal level, right? Keep the body going. Okay, cool. And then above that, you've got relationships and things, and purpose, right? And self-realization, right? Would be so now that's a bit loftier than, the rat looking for cheese. Okay. So I like that conversation. I get really bored of the rat cheese conversation. Really bored. All right. So for me, I thrill to that stuff. Spreadsheets, not my bag, right? Useful, of course, useful. Shipping, receiving, of course, useful. Me, nah, not for me. So think about that. We all have different roles in life. Okay, not just in this business, although we can take it down from the macrocosm to the microcosm. In this business, what is your role specifically? Okay, back to Kiyosaki. Employee? No, clearly not. Right? You don't need this. You don't need this training. You can go be an employee for somebody else. You'll be their leverage, right? So we're going to be a bit more resourceful. Self-employed, that's a jump. Bit more cause, right? Bit more control. Nice. Control equals profit. That's good, right? You're making big strides. But still, you do everything yourself. Is that what you do as a self-employed person? Quite often, that's the case. How about B, business owner? The next quadrant, right? Now you've got leverage through the efforts of others. They like to be employees. Okay, fine. Look, I like when I go into the coffee shop and somebody else makes the coffee. That's cool. Although I did make myself a nice pot of espresso this morning. Nice pot of espresso. Not a doppio, a quadrupio, baby. Like the whole damn thing poured in my cup. And here it is. I'm back to my black cup, by the way. I think everybody knows I'm the best dad ever now. So we're back to my Harley cup. Just had to change it up. But so no, I like it when other people enjoy, to whatever degree they enjoy, or they're at least choosing to be an employee of somebody else or of myself, right? We've got people that are better at certain things than I am, right? I'm not the designer guy or the artist or whatever, right? We run a branding agency. I don't know what the logo should look like. Don't ask me for my opinion. You're going to get a heavy metal logo. Every logo I've ever designed looks like a heavy metal band every single time, right? So don't ask me my opinion. In fact, if John likes it, it sucks, right? So if you want a barometer, ask John what he thinks of it, and if he likes it, it's no good. I just know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, right? Designing logos for the mass market, that's just not my bag. Okay, fine. Thankfully, there are other people who do that. I get to be the business owner. They get to be the employee in that case. And as an employee, you typically get paid about 10% of the profitability of your effort. So you think about a corporation, here's a company, right? And this is just how business works, how it has to work, right? So here is the employee in the company, in the corporate pyramid, so to speak. And I know a lot of people got to take a lot of issue with the words and the structures and with capitalism itself and whatever, but this is just how life works. So I've got this opportunity. You can participate in this opportunity. You bring in about $100,000 worth of revenue business, right? Directly or indirectly. The accountant isn't putting money on the board. They're not the salesperson, okay? But they're still a necessary part. And because they're a necessary part, they're going to get a cut, right? Here's that 10%. So you just made $10,000. So did the salesman. So did the product fulfillment people. So did everybody else of this $100,000 of revenue. So you're worth about 10% in that job. That's what the job is worth, about 10% of the revenue. Okay. But if you're just self-employed, yeah, you get 100% of the revenue, but you also do all the work and you can't scale that. It can't be done as hours for dollars. It's totally linear. I had this conversation with a group of burgeoning entrepreneurs just yesterday. I had somebody, listen to this, everybody. This has nothing to do with Blue Sky, Amazon, none of this, right? This is all the other consulting work that I do. So I had this individual who very much wanted to increase their immediate and ongoing financial ability and options and future and all this. And yet they were working a lot of hours and they didn't see a way to bring in more money without working more hours. And they didn't have more hours because they're already working to the max and they couldn't figure out what to do. And so I asked some of the other people in the small group that I was running, well, what would you do? Let's say that right now you had to increase your income, not by like this tremendous, thing, but let's say another $1,000 a month or something. What would you do? And every person I asked said I would look at a part-time job in one way or another. That's what they came back to. It was linear income type thinking begats linear income type solutions. Work more. That was the answer unanimously. It wasn't a large group. Okay. I had a different answer. Seek out a leveraged income, right? There's lots of things you could do. Some you're more interested in than others. Right here, you've got a leveraged income, right? As a business owner, you've got the ability to leverage the experience and expertise of other people who are better than you at certain things. For example, Amazon as an entity is better at fulfilling products than you. They are. Okay. I don't know if anybody wants to argue with that. I think they're better than any individual could ever do it, right? That's a full-blown operation. Here's your percentage. Thank you. I'm not touching the product. So there's that. All right. The fourth quadrant, by the way, because I've only given you three, is the employee, the self-employed, the business owner. The fourth quadrant would be the investor. Read the book yourself. I know I've recommended it to all of you. In fact, read them both. Kiyosaki, two of his biggest books were Cash Flow Quadrant and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. But the fourth quadrant is investor. I'm not even touching the business now, right? So I am investing in your competence, you business owner, or you self-employed person, or you publicly traded company. Here's some money. Go grow it for me via your competence. Go make your stuff more valuable. You're good at what you do. Thank you. Here's some money. Make me some profit, right? That would be an investor type mindset. All right. That could also be in the area of real estate, right? When we look at, here's a property, I'm going to cash flow this property. In fact, let me go into debt. Here's $1 million mortgage, which I'm on the hook for. And now I get to, what's the payment on that, right? On that apartment building or whatever it is, let's say $5,000 a month, right? And yet I'm collecting $6,000, $7,000 a month, right? In revenue, positive cash flow. Kiyosaki defines that as an asset. That's an asset. Whereas your house, right, that you're not collecting cash flow on, the house that you're paying your mortgage on, that's a liability that reduces your cash flow. So assets are defined as that which increases your cash flow, which could be a debt, a debt that you're actually carrying, a constructive debt. Good, that's good debt, right? As opposed to bad debt, which is now I'm on the hook for this debt and it's not making me money. That's a liability. Okay. And yeah, we have liabilities. I think the trick is to accumulate more assets than you accumulate liabilities. Some people, let's say once again, that you're successful in this deal, right? That you're doing, you do business, hooray, it works. And then immediately you start accumulating liabilities. This is a trap. This is a trap. You know what? You're doing better. You're more financially able now. Do you spend all the money? I will tell you, my first month that I ever made over $100,000 in a month, I spent every penny. I'm not suggesting that's called stupid. That's what that is. Okay. But perhaps just compensating for my impoverished youth, I got to spend some money now. Oh my goodness. I've got financial ability and I got stuff that I want. Okay. Still, that I suppose that's better than racking up credit cards, which I've also done throughout my life. Okay. So that's not smart either. That's even less smart. Okay. But the idea that you can buy additional assets, facilities, that you can buy facilities that will make you more money. A facility could be, here's the real estate. A facility could be the employees, right? Yes, you're spending money now. You're investing in a workforce, right? And now they can bring you additional revenue, right? So that would be more resourceful, I guess, facilities. I would call them things that facilitate your ability to earn. Education. And this is one that I think goes overlooked a lot of times, not by people here in this group, but just look around. Your ability to earn is probably the best investment. Well, I'll speak for myself. Best investment I've ever made. I've invested over $300,000 into my own education after leaving government schools and whatever they teach there, right? I've made a little bit more than 300,000, right? Good investment, good stuff. And once you got it, right? All of you have invested in your own ability to earn. Best investment I could ever think of. Okay. So have I made a point? I think so. The point is, what can you do to balance economy with scale? Okay, so this costs less, but it goes really slow. This costs more, but it goes really fast. Okay, let's weigh the opportunity there. Let's weigh that. Which way do we go with that? Okay, but when it comes to you, yeah, your ability to earn, that is the best investment I could possibly think of, right? Increasing one's own ability. What did Ben Franklin said? He said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. There you go. So, where did that speech just come from? You guys inspired me. Look what you did. It's all your fault. Let's open up the let's open up the conversation here. I see Esther laughing. Caroline finally got that cat out of her face. Who wants to talk? Come on out. Let's talk. Who's got some ideas here they want to share? Hey, Leah and Stuart, what's going on?
Oh, hey, everybody. How's it going, John? That was great today. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think like many people here, we've been stuck on one side of the cash flow quadrant. And I think, in my earlier years, I was an employee, started a business in my 20s, which really kind of slammed shut with the whole COVID and tourism, shutting down here in New Mexico. Reading Kiyosaki's book was really profound to me. It kind of brought me to tears at some point. The story about the guy who carried the buckets. Do you remember the story? And those of you who've read that book, it was so profound to me. There's a town in the desert that doesn't have water, and they put out an RFP, to get water to the town. One guy jumps right at the RFP and essentially gets the contract and decides that he's going to go out and get a couple of buckets and run back and forth to the lake that's like a mile away. And every day he's carrying buckets all day, and he's got a good business, and he's making money, and it's all great. But his kids don't want to carry the buckets when he's done. They see that he has no time to do anything but carry buckets. He's totally consumed by doing every aspect of the business. And then the other side of the story was that there was another person who also got the contract. They shared the contract, and that person disappeared for a year, came back with a construction crew, built a pipeline, and delivered water to the town. And that guy lived happily ever after, kind of thing. Whereas the other guy, carried buckets until he died, kind of thing. So it was profound to me, because I feel like that's where we were. I was a great bucket carrier. I carried a lot of buckets in my days. I had a great commute back and forth to the lake to get the water and all those things, and it was fulfilling. I learned a lot. It was an amazing experience for me. But this course has really helped me and Leah to understand that was great for when we needed it, and now we need to step up and move into the next quadrant.
Thank you, Stuart. By the way, I've got that same exact shirt. What a great shirt in the desert. Yeah, that is a great shirt right there. Can I ask you personally, Stuart, in your case, was it difficult to extricate yourself from that linear income type mindset into, or have you successfully done that? Are you more leveraged now, or?
You know what? That's a great question, because it's something, I don't know. I guess I could say that it's something that I'm struggling with, although, I've always been the do-it-yourself guy. And so I really do relate to what you're saying. It's funny, you mentioned, that we tend to get those things from our parents. Those memes, those axioms, whatever they are. I don't necessarily remember my parents ever saying, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I do remember culturally hearing that, but I would have to say that to a certain degree that was reinforced by my own experience as a business person and just trying to have people work with me and things like that. And I just never really found folks that could, do what I wanted the way I wanted and all that. A lot of it, I think, for me as a struggling entrepreneur, as a young person that couldn't afford somebody to build a website, that couldn't afford, somebody to do this or that. We wound up doing every aspect of our business, all the marketing, all the networking, graphic design, web design, all across the board. And so I think in a lot of ways we feel really prepared moving into this next business operation. And at the same time, yeah, we're learning how to outsource, right? I mean, that's what we're hearing from you. We're hearing from Sophie, from all the coaches. I think the balance, and you'll see that in the chat a lot. And I think that's what a lot of folks are trying to find, that balance between doing it yourself to learn the process and then outsource it because it's our business and it's important to understand all the different aspects of the business. But then again, not getting stuck in that, nobody else can do it kind of thing and being able to outsource it. For us, I think it's really about resources. And the more resources we have, the more willing to outsource things. And until then, we want to learn every aspect and do every part of it. So yeah, it's something that we're working on for sure. Thanks for asking.
Thank you. I've had exactly the same experience, everyone. The more resources I have, the more willing I am to experiment with delegation, right? Being someone who's resistant to that. I just know that about myself, right? And so that's where the argument of, well, don't spend all the money, right? Find ways to scale up, right? Not just scaling up inventory, okay, but scaling up services or facilities, right? That's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for your perspectives. Stuart, as always, let's go to Victoria and then Caroline and then Monday. Hey, Victoria.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just so glad to be back. I've been gone for about a month, so it's so nice to hear your voice and your message. And it was a great one today, and to see everyone's faces on the screen is so nice. I've missed it, so I'm glad to be back.
Wow. Thank you. Glad you're here. Looking good, my friend.
Well,
All
thanks.
right. Pleasure. All right,
That's
let's go to Caroline. Let's go to Caroline and her
Hey.
cat.
Hi, John. Hi, everyone. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit because I've not really spoken much the last couple of weeks. I'm always a bit shy, really. I listen to everyone else and never really think I've got much to say. So this is just a general sharing. So behind me, look, my vision board is finally finished and on the wall. So I'm very happy about that. And I got verified yesterday, so I'm very happy about that. And they've taken the first payment, so I'm hoping that doesn't mean there's going to be any hiccups. They've taken the first month's fee. So that's great. So for me, I've loved all the books. So the one I've just finished is the 5-second rule, and that's been pretty transformational. That's very simple, but that's well worth it. Taught me a lot about procrastination, so that was interesting. And I'm starting to read through the T. Harv Eker Millionaire Mind book for a second time. And I'm also very excited to announce that I'm attending the Millionaire Mindset Intensive Seminar in London in October.
Wow.
I booked onto it this morning because I just thought, I've been always in the E and the S quadrants, never the B, never the I. So the shift in my money mindset, I mean, I'm doing declarations and affirmations and I'm working with it, but I just think it's going to be quite a big leap to get over conditioning I've had. And just my lack of financial IQ, really. I've just grown up very illiterate financially. I've earned good money and just spent it, really. Just never been poor, but never been rich. And no assets, nothing to show, nothing behind me, which is a bit crazy, but never too late to start. So yeah, and the 3-day seminar, they're selling seats at £79. So for me, it was like a kind of no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get somewhere to stay easily and just, go deeper into my wealth creation mindset.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Caroline. And you are glowing. Congratulations on all your progress.
Thank
so happy
you.
for you.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Does Monday have a microphone today? No. Okay. Let's get that working. I know just a day or two ago, we had the same condition going on. Let's go to Selvin and then Wayne and Star, and then we'll see about Monday's microphone. Hey, Selvin.
Hey, John. Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I just wanted to echo what, Leah and Stuart was just saying. About 2 years ago, I was in a situation where, I own a business, but really it was self-employed. And like you were saying, John, I just couldn't scale it. It was having to put more hours in, and it was killing me. And I just made that decision that, you know what, if I want to scale it, I'm going to have to pay somebody else to do some of the work. And I started doing that, and it started scaling, and that's the decision you have to make. But it's a difficult decision because you feel like you're giving away the baby when you do that. You're giving away the control, and I think a lot of us are control freaks, and we don't want to let go, So, but I've learned over the last 2 years that you've got to trust people, and there are people that can do things better than you. it doesn't mean that you're not still running it, but they just can do things better than you, and you just gotta trust them, and it works. It does work, but it's a difficult transition. I have to say, it's definitely a mind game, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Selvin. And I think, you know, as Stuart, and we were just dialoguing a little bit, I think a lot of that has to do with scarcity of resources, perhaps in our upbringing, right? So you got to hoard, you know, every little bit, that sort of a thing. And I dare not, you know, experiment. That's, you know, risky, right? So there's a whole lot of mind thoughts that go on with that. But yeah, good. You know what? The other interesting thing is there are people who would never endeavor to let's say hire employees or create a staff or things like that, who will still buy lottery tickets and show up in Vegas. Is that not risky? Now that's just chance. That's just chance. It's not even calculated risks. Understand there's a difference between risk and chance, you know. So, but actually, if you interview or people have been interviewed here in the United States, if you were ever going to be a rich person, how would that happen? And the number one answer is I would have to win the lottery. Like there's no path to riches in the mind of most people. It's luck. Yeah, there's that. I don't see a microphone on Monday yet. I do see Wayne here though, and then we'll go to Star next. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, John, how are you and everybody?
Good.
Good. Hey, I just really good conversation today, and what Stuart was saying, I really enjoyed. I'm just about finished cash flow quadrant now, and also what Carolyn said about the mindset thing, and just thinking about scaling. For me right now, the big piece is scaling my mindset, and you know, I think what's really good about this call is it gives us a chance to leverage other people's experience as well in getting through. I was exposed to Dale Carnegie courses when I was about 10 or 11. I was sitting in Bob Proctor seminars when I was 18, did NLP and things midlife. But the interesting thing is I'm still on the E and S side, the left-hand side of the quadrant. And so when I was thinking about it this morning, listening to Kiyosaki's book here, was just that mindset piece. And each time I went to those different things, I came away from them and I was kind of trying to walk on my own there a bit. So this scaling up my mindset piece and this leveraging other people's experience and just being part of a group like this, just helping to learn is really helping me through. I know this week there's been a couple times I've been kind of like mindset slipping back into that E and S side. So, you know, getting these calls really helps me to start getting my focus back to the B and I side of the quadrant, to the right hand side. So I think that scale up and that leverage conversation today was good, and I appreciate everybody's input here because it really helps me leverage my mindset here.
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate your perspective, man. I don't think we're that different, right? We got a lot of people who are relating to this conversation. So thank you so much. Let's go to Star Hart, and then I see Amanda. Hey, Star.
Hi, everybody. Hello, John.
Hey.
Hope everybody is good. Yeah, Wayne, I completely get you, and leveraging other people's experiences and insight as well. Gosh, there are weeks on here where I've been sort of desperate for a bit of an uplift or a bit of support or a bit of something when things are not going so well. But this week, everything is fabulous. I've been super excited. I actually wanted to speak yesterday, but I had technical problems and everyone was roboting, so I had to log off. But yeah, things are going really bloody well at the moment, and I'm hoping to place an order this week. I'm just waiting for my suppliers to come back to me with it's that niggly bit of the agreement. Like I've got the figures all work out. They've said to me these are the figures. However, once I try and pin them down to a seller's agreement, since yesterday I've had lots of agreement, and then since today no responses. And I think maybe they're probably just working out their figures on working out their PDFs or whatever. But I have a coaching call on Thursday, and fingers crossed I'll be able to place an order for 2 products, small orders, by the end of the week. I hope. Yeah, very excited. But I've got all the EIN, American postal address, changed the address on Amazon account without any problem at all. Very easy. Just $9.99 a month for an Albany address. And yeah, just everything's going pretty smooth this week and loving it and really enjoying being on here. And Mark, you are a naughty boy. They changed that desk.
That's great.
You,
Apparently there's some sidebar conversation going on in the chat roll with Mark.
Esther's trying to keep them in control.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Star. You're awesome. Congratulations on all your progress as well. We do have Amanda, and if Monday's around, let's see if we can get one of them to unmute their microphones. Where is Amanda? Hey, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. This is my first time, so I'm really nervous. I had a business for 25 years, and I started in my 20s. And the story is just about how delegation is really difficult, but you must persevere. It really works. In the end, I had someone want to buy my business last year. Sorry, really nervous. Last year, and I sold out to a big company thinking that it wasn't worth much, but I did sell out. I wasn't ready to, but they wanted me, but I'd put all the things in the right place. I spent many years just step by step, just working up slowly with, you know, getting the right people with marketing, the right people with your software, the right systems. So if you spend time getting the systems right at the beginning, everybody, honestly, just slowly, little steps, you'll get there. But it is worth really trying to take those steps to, I don't know, to really, I can't speak, to trust people and let people in, because it really helps to build your business. It built mine, and I had a lovely team in the end. We used to always meet every 3 months, you know, the marketing team and then the other teams all around, and what our focus would be for the next sort of 3 to 6 months. We had a program, and I just did it from myself. From 21, I set up a business, and at the same time I was doing working, and I did another degree, and you can get there. Anyway, I'm boring everyone. I'm really sorry. But what I'm trying to say is just keep persevering and do take those steps to, I've done it, and I'm very grateful at this stage doing this course that I have this experience. And for you that haven't, just trust in yourself, and just all of us here are all here to help each other. And it's been wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you. That's Amanda, everybody. There she is. She just did it. She just came out in front of 10 million people. Good to see you, Amanda. Thank you for sharing. Did they ever get a microphone on Monday? Monday. No Monday. Let's go to Joe Olson Clark and then Therese. Hey, Joe, what's going on? I see Joe. I see Therese. Joe.
Right, I just wanted to say a couple of things. So about 20 years ago, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it inspired me to become a property investor. And I bought a number of houses, and I was quite successful for a while. And then unfortunately, I had some very ill health about 10 years ago, and unfortunately I lost a lot of them. So I'm kind of working my way back to that. So I just wanted to say how inspired by that book I was. And I'm halfway through Cash Flow Quadrant at the moment, which I'm really loving and getting inspired by. And the other thing I wanted to mention was about delegation. Now, having worked with very big teams in the past, I am a great believer in delegation. I love to delegate. But what you have to remember, the golden rule is you delegate, not abdicate. So you're always keeping an eye on what's going on, not just giving it over and never seeing it again, washing your hands of it. So cardinal rule there, I think, John.
Right. So you're maintaining control. And you're still essentially responsible for the result. And yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if I'm not personally turning the wrench, You know, how
You're
do I know?
working on your business, not necessarily directly in it.
Right. Right. That's the trick. Working on your business, not just in your business, which is linear, right?
Yeah.
Hours for dollars. Beautiful. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for your perspective. Let's go to Therese, and then I see Kitty's here, and looks like Emmanuel's unmuted as well. Hey, Therese, what's going on? Where's Therese? If I click unmute, then you'll click mute. So all right, there she is. Hey, Therese.
How is everyone?
Hey.
Sorry I missed you yesterday. My day didn't go quite the same, but nonetheless, I'm here today and happy to be here and going to start my morning off right. I took a couple of days off. I was in the mountains and did a lot of paddle boarding and did no technology for probably 3 days. I think the only technology I did is a posting on Instagram, and that was it. So I needed the refresh. I needed to refresh my mind. I was getting kind of caught in an eddy, if you will. And sometimes I get like that. So really happy to be here this morning. And I guess I just wanted to say that. I'm also rereading Cash Flow Quadrant because I feel like that book just moved me. Like, I mean, it moved me to action. And I get caught in procrastination for sure. And I get in my own way. And that's old stuff, old talk. And of course, the 5-second rule is really helping me. I use it all of the time, you know, even down to, it's funny, on the lake. I'm a kid that comes from that Jaws / kind of kitschy 80s horror films, whatever, like Freddy Krueger coming out of the lake kind of thing. So I used it on the lake while I was paddleboarding constantly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's nothing in the lake that's going to come out and get you. So anyway, it works in a lot of ways. I'm a little all over the place today and I'm trying to settle back in. I guess today's focus is really sorting out the sales agreement and finalizing the plastic. I'm trying to get my supplier to give me an image of the bag that's going to be on my product so that we can make sure it fits the requirements. And I feel like I've been going back and forth on that since last Thursday. So I'm hoping to hammer everything out today. I've got a very full day ahead of me. And this is exactly the morning cup of coffee I needed to move me. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we got Jaws, Freddy Krueger, product, bags, you know, life, Earth. That's great.
Sometimes you got to have a little balance. You know, it took a few steps away, but I feel like when you do that, it moves you forward.
You're awesome. Thank you, Therese. Always good to see you,
everyone.
All right, so we are coming towards the end here. So let's go to Kitty, and I see Caroline and a couple other mics unmuted. So Kitty, if you want to come out, and then
hey.
We'll wrap up. Yeah, go ahead, Kitty.
Okay, what I was going to say was, you know, with the delegating and not abdicating, so you don't want to, you know, like totally release yourself of responsibility, but you also don't want to micromanage people, because when you do that, you squash any kind of creativity or any kind of good input that they would have. And, you know, so in being able to check in with people to make sure that they're either on task or doing what you want, and also allowing them to be, you know, the best they can be, it really creates a good team. So that was it, just not micromanaging, because micromanaging is so annoying to the person it's being done to. And it just totally turns into a negative thing, which then does not help a team work well at all. So I just wanted to add that in there. And also just for Teresa, just kind of just a general fun thing. My dad blew up Jaws.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Kitty. Let's go to Caroline, and then I think I saw Emmanuel. Hey, Caroline.
Hey, just a really quick thing when Teresa was saying about the 5-second rule. I just had a really lovely, because I've read the book and very inspired, but I've not quite got the tools sort of up and running yet. But yesterday I thought about a friend who I know is having a bit of a hard time, and I just thought, right, phone him now, just do it now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we had a lovely chat, and at the end he was just going, God, you've just made my day. Like, and he was just so moved by our conversation and how much better he felt. And to me, it was just a real affirmation of, yeah, just when you're drawn, whether it's a career thing, a personal relationship, just go with your impulse, heart, feeling. Don't put it off. So that's.
Thank you. Thank you, Caroline. And we are going to end with a profundity from Emmanuel. Ladies and gentlemen, Emmanuel.
Hi, everybody. I was just going to say something I've said earlier, that there is a cost associated with every effort and every time. I remember when I was in real estate for a while. I buy a house and rehab it. I used to go in there, try to clean it up, try to paint it, until somebody told me and asked me, are you a real estate investor or you're a handyman? So when I thought about that, I realized that the time I spent trying to get this house ready for market, I could be out there looking for some more houses. And that's what I found out. You got to delegate these things to those people that know how to do it while you're out there doing what you want to do, what you're supposed to be doing, not trying to think you're saving money by cleaning a house you want to put in the market for sale while you're neglecting the fact that you are an investor. So it's always good to delegate, and then, like they say, just keep an eye on what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said, Emmanuel. Well said. All right. I'm not seeing any other hands or any other open mics. If you didn't get to share today, come back tomorrow. We'll do this again. In the meantime, let's delegate something today. I'm going to go find something to delegate. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you, guys. You inspired me. So we'll see you all back here tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.